Marina. Hi, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
It's an honor for me to have you on my channel and to see you and to hear you and to yes, I hear you every day. Not you personally, but your music. And this since a few years for the people just arriving. I know you quite a long time now. The first time I heard you, I was looking for some Beethoven and found you playing the slow movement of Beethoven's Seventh Symphony, and that was like, whoa, what is happening here? So that was the first time. Then I heard everything from you, and once I had I dared to write to you a message, and that's how we came together, and I'm very grateful for that.
Yes, me too.
I have all your albums. You see the two physical albums here.
Yes, yes.
You see them since a few years there.
Yes,
I will print out the new covers from the new albums and put them up there too.
it's the
Uh,
idea.
so, and for those who know me and do not know you, what I don't believe exists, because everyone who knows me knows you. You are a guitarist since ever. You are one of the few specialists of the Decacorde, the 10-string guitar. You have now 4 Decaccords.
Yes,
Everyone who plays Decacorde has one and is very happy to have one. But you have 4 of them. Huh?
yes.
So tell us about you and your guitars, and once more your fingers, because I don't know where you found those fingers. Every musician, every guitarist on the world wants such fingers like you have.
Ah,
Where did you
my
find them?
fingers are extremely small.
They don't look that.
They don't look like that because the fretboard is very big. But the fingers are really very, very small. And people are always surprised when they learn about it. But my fingers are really very small. And even my youngest sister has the bigger fingers than myself. And even people who tell me that they have extremely small and short fingers, when I compare my fingers to them, we always see that mine are thinner and smaller. And in comparison to the hand of a man, for example, it's my index finger, for example, and the index finger of a man is something like that in comparison to mine. But happily, I didn't know about that for a long time. And I discovered it only when I compared myself with someone at the age of like 19 or 20. And when I was a child and a teenager, I was always sure that I have really big fingers.
And
I think it helped.
what is your secret in that case? What is your secret? Because as you can see it there, and we will see it on your guitars. You say that the fretboards are narrow, but they are impossibly narrow on a 10-string guitar because you need a broad fingerboard. So even there, your fingers look so, they are very strong. And you
Yes.
and if you tell us that you have short fingers, how do you compensate that? Then there is some compensation there because you are the only one I know able to make one barre with 10 strings and
Yes, yes, I can.
holding the E string and playing with your little finger on the top of your bass string. How do you do that?
I will explain. The secret is in the stretching, of course, and in the flexibility of the fingers. So you can. I think that a lot of people have these flexible fingers, but the secret is also in this finger. I don't know why it is so. On the right hand, it is not so. So on the left hand, it is so. And when I play the guitar, my position is. I will show you just a second. It is without sound. I just will show you the fretboard. When I'm holding the fretboard, it's like that. So how
Okay.
to show it?
Yeah, we
How to
see it.
show it
You.
better? So it's
Yeah. It's
like that.
flat. It's flat
Yes.
on the flat board, on the
Yes.
flat neck
I,
of the guitar.
yes, it is so. And also when I'm playing the barrier, it's like that. So I'm playing also with this part of my hand. So
Of
that
the
first string is somewhere here.
in the flesh of your
Yes.
between thumb
Yes,
and
I'm playing.
that's
Yes, I'm
genius.
playing also with the flesh of my hand.
Yeah, I think that there are things you're still not doing, but you will once do. I think playing with your toes because you would have a few more fingers to use on your guitar. So it will happen once because there is nothing that one can do with a guitar what you wouldn't do. I know you do everything. you you master every technique. And now you have you have four guitars. The one is an historic one. I love that guitar very much. Although I know, I know Marina, I know, but I love it because that's the first guitar I ever saw in your hands and in your arms. But now you have three specific three specific guitars that were made for you from
Mhm.
luthiers, and
Mhm. Yes.
you have almost the whole spectrum of what is possible.
Yes.
You have
I
one
believe so.
acoustic guitar made
Yes.
in Italy by Davide Ceracini. Then you
Yes.
have two guitar that were made for you by another luthier. The
Yes.
one the one is very original. That's electro guitar but with nylon strings.
Yes.
Are
It
you
was
the
made
only
by
one
the
having such
luthier.
a?
Ah.
You are the only one having nylon strings, 10 string on an electro guitar.
I think. Yeah. I think yes.
I'm sure. I know the last one you got it a few days ago, eh? The one we
Yes.
see here.
1 week. Yesterday was 1 week as I got this one. So now I'm together with it. I just finished recording the video. That's why it's somewhere close.
I see, and that's uh, uh, steel string, ten
Yes.
strings guitar.
Yes.
So there is nothing you don't play.
For now, yes. I think that the one guitar I haven't tried is the 10-string bass, but I'm not sure if I will do that.
With you, you need to be sure of one thing. Nothing is sure with you.
Yes, really. I was a person who always was telling I will never return to electric guitar. And when people were asking me if I will ever order a 10-string electric guitar, I told, of course not. I don't need that. I don't want that at all. But finally, one night, I just understood that I needed, and I not only needed, but I need to make some comeback for electric guitar because my soul was very longing for it during the last 15 years in classical guitar.
Of course. Of course, because you are open to everything.
Yes.
You are open to everything. You are able to do everything. That's the that because I know a lot of people being open for everything, but not everyone is able to do everything, and you are. So first of all, and the second thing is you do not fear and you do not hesitate to change all the time.
Yes.
And the only thing that doesn't change is that you are changing all the time. no two
Yes.
albums, not two albums are the same. Your looks change radically every 2 weeks. um, and that, because artists tend to have one style and to stick with it because it's what everyone recognize, and you hear one artist and you know that's that one because it's the same sound and the same song over and over again. But and that's what marketing would say you should do because so
Mm.
people recognize you. But you do the contrary. You change all the time.
Yes, but it's not
I
the
can
aim.
imagine that. I can imagine that irritates some people.
Hmm.
But that's
Maybe.
yeah. But that's incredible. That's what makes you unique.
Yes, thank you. I'm not doing it on purpose, so it's not my idea to be a person who always changes. As for me, I see it as a not a disadvantage, but I always think that I will stop on that. And when I got the Seracini guitar, I thought that, oh, it's my first and last 10-string guitar, and I will play only it. And after that, I feel that I need to do some things which can be done on the acoustic instrument, and but I don't want, for example, to leave the nylon strings, and that's why I order this electric nylon string Decacorde. And after this, I think, yes, it is really my thing, and I will always play it, and how to make it live longer, because I'm going to play it the closest 50 years. And I'm playing it and playing it, and after that, I think that the tapping is rather weak here. I want to play some slap, but with piezos, it's also weak. And pyramid. I'm using pyramid strings. They sent me, and it was. Uh,
Yeah, of course.
I think that it was what they made. They sent me the nylon string set for this electric nylon Decacorde, and it was with nickel wound. So unlike the classical guitar strings, because for piezas it's better and for all electric guitars it's better. But they sent to me just in case three first strings in steel, just if you want to try. And it was one night when I decided just to try them, and it was just I had something like a history, because I just turned this string to the guitar, and I felt that I really want to cry, because I felt it like a betrayal, because I was playing these metal strings, and I felt that I like the sound. I was longing for this sound for so long. I want it. What's happening with me? And I came to the kitchen and started shouting, "What's going on? I'm feeling like I'm a betrayer." Because I left electric guitar 15 years ago, and I decided that I'm staying with classical. What's happening? But finally, I returned to nylon strings, because these metal strings were not in tune on this fretboard. And several days passed, and I wrote to Vyacheslav, it's the luthier from Kaliningrad, who's making these guitars now for me, electric guitars. And I wrote to him, "Would you like to make one more guitar for me, but it will be a metal strings, electric 10-string guitar?" And he told, "Yes, of course, just tell me your specifications." And I thought that maybe it will be just one of my instruments. I will test it, I will try it. But when I saw it, I understood. I'm a bit afraid to tell this, but I understood that, oh my God, it is my destiny. I will play it for the closest 50 years. So now I am in this condition. I don't know what it will be on our next stream in a year.
I can tell you, it will be completely different.
I don't know for now. What if not? Who knows?
Who knows? That would be a change.
Yes, but the changes, yes, it will be also a change. But I think I see that the changes are becoming more and more frequent, because my first change one was when I moved to electric guitar from classical. It was at my 15 years old. And after that, at 18, I moved, or at 17, I moved to bass guitar. And after that, I decided to return to classical. And it, by the way, it was not a creative decision. It just life turned out so that I needed to leave the college of electric guitar and move to college of classical guitar because I had a little bit of conflict with my teacher. She didn't understand my desire for change. She was very angry that I touched the bass guitar, and every day she told me that she is against that I'm playing bass guitar together with electric guitar. It will ruin my touche. Of course, maybe she is right, but I couldn't stand it when I was 17, and I just went away and started the first grade again, but with classical guitar, with another teacher, and in another college. And I felt like I'm loving classical music, I'm loving classical guitar, so okay, it's forever now. I'm here, and that's all. And it was a very, very long period. It was 5 years. It was 4 years of college and first and second year of the academy, so it was 7 years with classical guitar with no changes. But after that, the Decacorde appeared when I was, I think, 22, something like that. And after that, the changes began to happen more and more often because I had the new Decacorde in 2 years, and in 2 or 3 years after that, I had this nylon electric 10 string. And it came to me in August 2023. So even a year hadn't passed yet, and I'm already having the new one.
I think, Marina, it makes you complete. It makes you a complete guitarist because you play all the guitars that exist. You play electro nylon, you play classical guitar, and you play decachord.
Yes, and bass.
And no one, and you know, no one plays all of the members of the guitar family. And you know what? Um, wow, 20 years ago, I was chief editor at a relatively big guitar magazine in France 20 years ago. And we had three categories. We had one category for Western guitar, one category for electro guitar, and one category for classical guitar. And I was trying my whole time there to build bridges between the families. But the members of those families didn't want to build those bridges. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love you so much. It's because you're not building bridges. You destroy the separation, and you you reunite the families. You know, you bring all those families to one. Our family,
Yes.
the family of music, and the family of
Yes, for me,
music
it's
with
all guitar, it's all
it's all
music,
guitar.
and yes, yes,
And it didn't develop for no reason. It
yes.
developed because of a good reason. And no, I wanted to speak a little. I wanted to ask you one question before we speak about the album, because the idea was to speak about the album. Um, do you compose music at your desk with pen and paper, or are you playing it and later writing it down?
It's different time after time. Sometimes the idea comes to my mind and I even don't have the guitar, for example, or I just don't want to open the case. I'm lazy and I just open the laptop and I open, for example, the Guitar Pro, and I open the visual fretboard and I just put the notes as I hear them and I save it as the idea, and after that I return to this idea with the instrument and I play it and make the guitar arrangement, how to play it on guitar. And sometimes it happens so when I, for example, want to practice a little bit, or I want, for example, to just play guitar, not learning some of my things, but just playing guitar. And sometimes the idea comes on the instrument. I just hear some beautifully sounding chord and I begin to hear the melody, which can come together with it. And after that, I continue composing on the instrument. I first hear it in my head, several bars, and I play them on guitar after that. But having a guitar in my hands is very helpful because a lot of things are about using different techniques, which I like how they sound. So I must hear it with my ears if it sounds well here or not. And that's why I'm always testing with the instrument. But some things were composed, for example, on the keyboard, and I brought them to guitar.
Okay, that's you mix everything there too.
Yes, I don't have one special approach. The melodies come in different moments, just simple in the head or with the instrument or with the keyboard differently.
The new album called Three Moons is a symphonic poem, I would tell. I see it as one piece, one work, like a symphonic poem. Um, for me, it's your most personal, the most beautiful, and the most complex of your albums. I think you were never so much yourself as in that one. Am
Yes,
I
I
wrong?
opened completely. Yes, I opened completely in this album. And yes, it really turned out that it has a prelude and it has a postlude, and it makes the album like a musical form from 8 tracks.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel it. I know that you have a story, but I don't know the story. I know one can find it, but I wanted to see what kind of story will your music generate in me. I already
Mhm.
did for the last album, the Pygmalion Effect.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Um, that's a symphonic poem. You use composition techniques from symphonic poems, from very classical sonata form to other tricks of classical composition. But you do something I always dreamt of and did in one way. Um, you are the lead singer of a band, but you are and you are not singing. You're singing with your guitar, but you are the lead singer, and your luck is that you are your band too. You are the one. You are the one or the ones playing,
Yes, we're
playing.
multiple persons.
Yes, playing. That's the best way of playing with a band if you play all the instruments, and that's really fantastic, really, because
Thank
you
you.
have the band, you have your sound, and you have your lead voice, because you always have one lead voice, and that's uh, it's really impressive,
Yes,
really, and
thank you. I like composing melodies, and that's why I just recently got a comment which I liked very much on YouTube, and it reflects very much what I'm doing. A guy wrote that here we don't listen to any genre, or we don't listen to arpeggios or just scales or something like that. We are listening just to music, and it's about what I'm doing. I like
yes,
composing melodies like they were composed for a singer, and after that I
yes.
play them on guitars. And when I compose a melody, sometimes I really hear it in my head, like a guy or a woman standing on stage and singing it together with the piano.
That's how it's the feeling it generates in us listeners, and that's impressive, really. And
Thank you.
I would say, I created one music genre that I called electroclassic, and I
Hmm.
always told, forget everything about electro, forget everything about classic, just listen.
Hmm.
And that's what I would invite people to do when they uh, um, hear the first time your album. So your new album is one of those you need to hear a lot of times, because every time you hear it, you hear new things because you have so many layers. It's incredible, Marina. I don't know how many layers I tried to count them. I came to 18 or something like that, and I think you have ways more because all those little sound or noises you keep, people usually take them away. You keep all the sounds, all the noises, all the vibrations of the strings and so on. You keep everything, so
Yes, I
each
like
time
this feeling for the listener, like he is sitting not in front of me, like he's sitting inside of my guitar.
that's exactly what it is, Marina.
Yes, it's
I
about
wouldn't.
being very, very close, because the music is also rather intimate and personal,
Totally.
and that's why I think that this sound is the best. I don't delete any noises. Actually, I don't do a lot. I don't do much editing of the sound at all. Sometimes it's just as it is recorded, and I just cut out some extra frequencies and make some effects for the volume of the sound, like reverb or delay, and almost nothing except this. And speaking about layers, I think that if you listen to Lycoris even more, maybe you already found out that, but the waltz theme which is going there, it's going 3 times, and every time when the waltz played on the guitar in the electronics, the different melody plays together with this waltz, and I composed all these melodies, and I even didn't know which of them to play on guitar and made the main thing, and I always wanted to make all the 4 melodies play together, but I decided not to do that because I understood that maybe people will just don't understand what I'm doing and just hear a lot of crazy sounds together, just what she's doing. That's why I decided not to do that.
A pity, but you can do it as a bonus track for us who don't fear such things, and would be very
It's the
interesting.
idea. I must do bonus tracks on the albums. Why I didn't
Please,
think about that.
please do that, Marina. Please do that. The first piece that you call Preludium, huh? Prelude, is a long reverie. It's like a long dream, but we hear jazz piano. We hear jazz uh, and we hear all of those sounds, and that's, it's like you would prepare all ingredients for us before cooking the meal.
Mhm.
um, am I wrong? The prelude and the postlude are pretty the same.
Yes, they are very alike, but they have very crucial differences. I tested one thing, but of course I couldn't do that exactly as Hindemes did. But when he composed his prelude and postlude to some work, his postlude was just, I don't know this term in English, but it was just all the notes, but going from the end to the beginning. It is a special term in the Russian music theory, but I don't know how it is in English. So I decided to try something like this, but of course, I'm not about composing modern academic music, and that's why I don't like when something is sounding anti-musical just for the purpose of the mathematical idea. I hate this.
So you took
And
the blocks.
yes, so I took some blocks of melodies and made the inversions of them, including the rhythm inversion and the everything, and the velocity inversion, everything. And some blocks were smaller, some blocks were bigger, and because the melody changed somewhere, the direction of the melody changed, and that's why I made the reharmonization in the middle part in the postlude. So it is like the same because the guitar part is very alike. It's not alike, it's the same in the first and the third part, and in the middle it's a bit different. And if you listen to the piano, all the harmonies in guitar are the same, but the piano themes are inverted. So it was the idea. So I don't think about these compositions as about separate and individual tracks. I even didn't plan to put them into the album. I just decided to practice a little bit while I was mixing and mastering the album and arranging. I was very tired of being without the guitar, and I just took it and decided to play a little bit. And I composed this guitar intro, and I decided, okay, it is quite simple. I can just sit and record it, and maybe it will be in the album. But um, it wasn't. It wasn't in style. And I decided that if I make them two, they will be like the doors to the album, the intro and the outro. And somehow it happens so in the head of a musician that maybe when something is not planned as a concept, finally it becomes.
It becomes one, of course. But you know, it's cyclic. We come full cycle back to the beginning, like Schumann or like César Franck would do. You know, that's cyclism. That's a whole story, and that is so logical. You know, and so with all the story coming, because between the prelude and the postlude, you have all of the other pieces. The second piece, called Samovar,
Yes.
um, is the most funky part of this album. Um,
And do you know
and
what is Samovar?
if I know,
Yes.
yeah, yes, I know. Of course, I know. I know. And it's like, before, you prepare the ingredients for the meal, and then you cook the water and you keep it warm for us.
Yes.
And but I see some of us too as, a little kind of the lamp in Aladdin, for example. If
Yes.
you
But
rub
it's
the
big.
samovar, yes,
It's
if you
really,
rub the
it's like
samovar,
this.
I know something could come out, or could begin to speak. Of course, that samovar piece, is the one where we see all the variety of styles and of techniques you use and
Yes.
you master. That I don't think there is another piece where there are so many techniques,
Yes.
because you slap, you do everything, and we have main voices, we have incredibly, a lot of different things, like preparing us for the third piece, for the third chapter of that poem, Lycoris, you just spoke about. Um, you spoke about melodies. You have so many melodies inside of it. Musicians usually are happy with two. When they find two melodies, two themes, they're happy to have found two. You have so many, it doesn't stop. Always something new, always a
Yes.
new
I
variation and a
couldn't
new
stop.
melody. Yeah, you can't stop. And I hear flamenco. I don't know if you know why. I hear some flamenco, um, um, from the old flamenco school. All the musical layers. I think it's one of the pieces where you have the most of the layers of emotions, a lot of emotions, and so you have a very classical construction. I love it.
I
And
think
then,
that it's already under the skin.
yeah, that it is, because music does usually that goes under the skin. Yours especially. The fourth piece, called Saul in a Shell, um, is my favorite piece. If I had to take one, if I really had to take just one piece to a desert island, I would take that one. But more
Wow.
to the point, I am obsessed with the melody, with the theme.
Which one of them?
The first one, the opening one.
Mhm.
You know, it.
There are
It
6
is.
guitars playing, and each of them is playing a separate theme.
Yes, but you have a lead theme that is like a folk song. You know, those very
Yes.
striking and very simple, but going under your skin. Those themes, um, and you have 1,000 noises and a succession of effects. You know, when there is too many effects that could ruin the whole piece. But I don't know how you succeed in bringing so many effects and bringing to a harmony that works. Um,
I was accurate. But but Soul in a Shell was a composition which the mixing took me like around 3 weeks. It was awful. I was so despondent. I was making it once again and once again. I was always disappointed with the result. I didn't like it because when 6 guitars are playing together, the melodies are quite simple. But how to make them sound for the people to be hearable, all the 6 melodies, how to make all of them hearable, and none of these melodies actually is the most important. They are all important, and to show it with the mix, it was very difficult. And when I composed this part on the synth with the child voice singing, and after that the man's voice singing back, I really wanted so much it to be louder than the guitar, because it was like the main idea, speaking about the feelings of this composition. And I tried different variants, if to make it more loud or make it quieter in comparison with the guitars, to hide it or to show it, because it's like a decision, just a volume knob on the mixer. But finally it will be the message of the composition, so you decide the volume, but for the future you decide the message of the composition. And it was very difficult because I made around 20 variants, and I turned my headphones on, and I went to go around in the streets for hours listening all the variants and trying to decide which one is really correct. Correct, I mean really what I wanted to say. I needed
yes,
to understand it.
yes, because that's a process, and
Yes.
and when you have so many instruments and so many layers, of course, it's more work. It's not surprising me that you had such a long piece of work with that piece, because that's one of the that's I told you that's my favorite piece. And you know, at 3 minutes and 25 seconds, you have one noise. That's wow. I don't know if you know which one. After the live search, 3 minutes and 25 seconds from the one noise. Wow, each time it hits me. Five, the fifth piece called Two Sisters. Probably the most difficult to play. I don't know if I'm right, but I think it's the most difficult to play from all those pieces. Uh, I hear a fuga, you know,
Yes, yes,
a
it's all.
hallucinatory fuga construction. And for me, the most astonishing is when you consider that you can play that piece without effect on an acoustic guitar, because I heard you
Yes.
playing without all the electronic effects. You can play crazy the same piece, and that's crazy.
Yes, the idea to make the electronic arrangement was just practical because I wanted to perform it on the concerts, and I'm one, and it is a fugue, and it has 2 voices, and it is so fast that it just can't be played on one guitar by the same person, because I would need to make some cuts, and I didn't want to make any cuts in any of these melodies. And I also understood that if I just record the first voice and play the second voice on the concerts, it will be quite crazy. That one missing guitarist playing somewhere from the from nowhere. And that's why I decided to make the electronic arrangement, whole arrangement, and I even tried to make some dance part there, like the 80s disco. In the
Absolutely.
end.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes. The sixth piece is the most solemn, very like that's like church.
Yes.
And you know what? That's the piece I would take to a desert island if I could only take one. So I'm already taking two.
So you mean Judith? It's my favorite composition from the album.
Judith. Okay. Yes, I mean because yes, the fourth is my favorite piece, but I would take it on a desert island, but I wouldn't go without Judith. So
It is more dark. It is more dark.
it's very dark.
Yes.
Um, it's for me. It's a song sung into your ears by a mother.
Mm.
When you are like, I don't know, a child ill in bed, and your mother comes and sings a little song into your ear to make you feel well, although you're so ill. That's the kind of music you're doing that. But you alternate that song of a mother, it's alternating with a dance by goblins, because we have goblins dancing, and your handling of the bass and the almost melodic rhythm itself, you use the rhythm as a melody, and it's like, wow,
Yes, you
you
felt it absolutely correctly.
and you have a triplet in your rhythm. Da-da-dim-pum, da-da-dim-pum, da-da-dim-pum. It's incredible because each one of those triplets have a different length. It's like a giant horse beating. That's incredible that you use rhythm for a melody. I never heard that before. And is it dark or is it concentrated like children are, when they are doing something important for them? They are very focused.
This is also, I'm always telling that the art is not exact. It can't be exact because it is something you cannot touch. And speaking about music, and that's why different people can imagine different images about this. And for me, it was the image why I called it Judith. Of course, it's not about the real historical character, but I tried to imagine a woman, and she is very strong and she is very severe, and maybe she is also a killer, and she's bad. She's a bad person, but also she's gentle, and she suffers sometimes. Sometimes she wants to fight, and sometimes, I mean, why I told that she's killing or something like that, because the historical person Judith, it was a crazy person. It was not a good personality for many points in the history. And just remembering about her, I imagined the image of a woman. So this composition, it is a woman which can be solemn, she can be gentle, she can shout and fight, and she can be sad and she can cry, and she can ruin everything around her and everything in the same time, and it makes the image complete.
Yes. Yes.
And it is
It's,
my
it's
first woman image in my whole composing process.
really,
Yes.
because I would dare to say that your music is the most feminine I know, and that's what makes it um, so important. But
Thank you.
you can be cheerful and humorous. Having a lot of humor, because the seventh piece, the Treskun and Morana, that is
Yes.
the most cheerful one. That I think the goblins from the piece before, the goblins have come out of the song and are doing their wild rounds here.
Yes. Sounds
And
like
once
that.
again, no, sorry.
Yes, and also you can if you know who is Treskun, it is like Father Frost. It is like Santa Claus for the Western world.
Ah,
So
okay.
yes, we call him Father Frost, and in the myth he was called Treskun. So it's like Santa Claus, and in the end you can hear even some bells. Like the Christmas bells, and Marana, she is she was in the myth, she was the goddess of winter, of cold, and of darkness, and they met each other and they fell in love with each other, and so they are cheerfully running in the forest and playing with the snow. But maybe you will also be able to hear that not everything is cheerful, because uh, they are very funny and they're very good, but maybe sometimes they can help you to get lost in the forest. Or maybe
Those are
a
the goblins.
tree, yes, or maybe the tree will fall on your head if you will be not cheerful enough.
In that piece, we hear all of your techniques. Again, a lot of slapping, for example, but is not usual. Um,
I was
and
preparing for the electric guitar.
yes, of course.
Mentally, I think I was already there. And you know,
Yeah, of
after I
course.
finished in the process of recording the album, I turned off my artificial nails and I tried to play with the sound, and I understood, oh, this nylon electric sounds better without the nails. And what if I delete everything which I recorded and re-record it again? And I'm happy that it was the man who stopped me from doing that, because I really wanted. It was around April, and I thought I already played all these compositions, so I will just re-record them in 1-2 days. It's the usual illusion. Happily, I didn't do that, but now
Mhm.
I'm again playing without the artificial fingernails, just with what I have, the same on the left and the right hand, because on electric guitar, um, if it is nylon or steel strings, it doesn't matter. Without nails is more comfortable, and I like the timbre more. On the classical guitar, I also like the timbre, but you can't get the sound loud enough, and it has a lack of high frequencies, for example. But with electric guitar, if you have a lack of high frequencies, you can just a little bit EQ them, but you just maintain this timbre of the real flesh of a real person. So
Of
it's
course.
not this plastic artificial fingernails, it's the timbre of a real thing, of real fingers of a real person. So it's
That
even
that
more close.
yeah, you can re-record it now without nails for your aficionados to hear the difference.
You know, I'm this crazy person. It's about my compositions. It's completely the same, and for me, it's really hard. These are hard decisions, because I compose music, and I think that I will be. This composition is really great, so I will play it for ages. And when I come to another guitar, I understand that, for example, I composed some piece, and it was about the acoustic sound of the acoustic Decacorde. And when I play it on electric nylon, I think that I feel that the main idea is not here, so I can't play played it on it. And I make another material for the electric nylon. And of course, I was very happy that I made a good concert program of 10 compositions and some from Pygmalion Effect album. And after that, when this Mr. Lime, I called him Mr. Lime, this green guitar, and when he arrived, I thought that I will play my old program on it and also add some new things. And after that, I understood that this program was composed for that electric nylon decacorde, and it really it doesn't sound as it needs to sound. Not It's not because of the material of the strings. It's about the specifications of the instrument, about if it is organic or not for this instrument. And it was so hard decision to again understand that this music, it is recorded and it will live in the recording. And I'm very happy that I was in time to record, because you know me, when the new instrument arrived, if I didn't record this, I will just move to another instrument and think, I will compose new things later, let them stay somewhere, I don't know. The instrument is here for 8 days, and I already started composing 4 different things on it. And of
I
course, even also because of this, I cannot return to the old program because it is too much for one brain.
I made a lot of music for theater and dance in my early life, and I once made it with 4 guitars, changing guitar in the course of the piece.
Mhm.
That's something you can do. You can have your 3 guitars and playing one piece with one piece with another guitar. I would do
Yes.
that, Marina.
but
I
but
wouldn't.
if it if it is not about concerts, because I am a woman and I can't bring 4 guitars to the concert, it is very
So
difficult.
you need someone to carry the guitars.
Yes. Oh, I need my
That's not.
personal, yes, my personal tour bus, so it will carry my
Uh, uh,
instruments.
Marina, I'm sorry. That's not a good reason. You will find people carrying your guitars. I will make a few calls and people will help you carrying the guitars. So please make a program with all 3 of your guitars, because
I
I
think it
think
would
you
be
are.
interesting.
Yeah, because you are complete when you have your 3 guitars.
My idea for now is, as I mostly a recording musician mostly, and I prefer this. I sometimes play concerts, but it's like revitalizing with my fans here. But mostly I'm recording artist and composing, and that's why my idea for now is using all the instruments in my recordings. Not always, but when I feel that it is needed. Because, for example, in Samovar, you hear something, some chords, and yes, it's
The
the
ukulele, yeah?
acoustic it's the acoustic decachord playing together with the ukulele in different channels. They play the same chords, just in different inversions, and they sound together to give it more flesh. And I wanted it to sound like balalaika, because if it's samovar there, it must be a funny dance. So the people are happy and they are dancing, they're kind. And that's why I needed something sounding like a balalaika, and of course it's ukulele. And the acoustic decachord was the big, strong, and more serious balalaika.
I I think the balalaika is the answer for Francois. Francois asked before what's the next step, and I think the next step is 10 string balalaika, acoustic and electro. Luthiers, make yourself ready. Marina is coming.
Ten-string balalaika, it would be really crazy.
Yeah, but not crazy enough for you.
Maybe.
Um, Marina, how can we support you? The best way is buying the album. The link will be in the description. listening like I do. I listen it in a loop so that each time I listen to the album in Spotify, you have one more hearing. So it's a
Yes,
way to support you.
yes,
But one of the
of
big ways
course.
is to come to your YouTube channel
Yes, to attend
and
my streams.
then come to your streams, and then you have the possibility to make donations, for example, to support Marina. That's something I strongly recommend you do, because you are an independent artist. You are a woman
Yes, yes,
working in a difficult time, a difficult world, and you are making that world that is difficult. You are making it bearable. You're making it livable. You do your part in order that we keep wanting to be optimistic and in a good mood. So thank you.
thank
When
you.
I listen to you, I see that there are reasons to keep hope and to be good.
Yes,
Thank you, Marina. Is there anything you wanted to say?
maybe. Maybe I want to say that recently I came to a conclusion. It may sound strange, but I really felt and I feel every day now so grateful for my listeners and for the people who support me, because when I feel that I'm great, I'm composing music, it is so good, and in some time I begin to realize that the music exists only when you have someone to listen to it. And I'm feeling, and it's really this: if you paint a picture and no one will see it, it is a very difficult philosophical question. But if nobody sees it, it has no sense, because the art is for people. And every day I feel so much love and gratitude to all the people who watch and who come to the streams, who support, because I feel that really other people want to do something good for me just because I write music. I do what I like, and people feel grateful for me for that and try to support me. It's so amazing and unbelievable. When I'm becoming older, I'm starting to think about it differently. Not it's like it's normal. You having streams and people are donating, or you're writing music and people are listening. Of course, I understand that I'm really so grateful for the people, because without my supporters, without my listeners, all the crazy plan which I made with leaving my official job last year, it's already a year past since the time when I left the job in music school, and I'm not a teacher anymore, and I'm only a composer, and my creative processes became a lot faster, and my technique faster a lot, yes, and my technique growth also became faster, and I'm very happy with that. But I understand that it is not like I'm good, I'm great, I've done this. I came to my dream to sit at home all the day and play guitar and compose music for people. I understand that it is possible only because people decided to be with me and to support me. And without them, it wouldn't be possible. It sounds like something very obvious, but when I feel
But
it
it's
with my heart and really think deeply about that, I understand that it doesn't matter how talented or not are you, because if there is no one to support you, any dream cannot come true without this. So
but
I'm very
but
grateful.
but it goes both ways, Marina, because you're giving a lot. You're giving everything,
I'm
and you
trying
are
to
giving it.
put much love in my music recently. I feel this need to put this love and friendship in my music, because previously I was thinking. about, for example, YouTube as about stage. If I play good and if I have good marks or like applause from people. But now I don't think about that. I think about maybe people want to watch something good after they come home after having their hard work. And for example, bakers make bread for me and I make my music for them. And so it's like exchange, and I'm trying to give something to people. And I understood that this makes me happy. And the lack of understanding of this made me unhappy previously. So I feel that it is really such a great conclusion in my life. It is like before and after
Yeah.
I really realized it with my brain and with my heart.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
That's beautiful, and that's what makes that album your most beautiful. Really, that's
Thank
from
you.
all your albums. That's the wow. Yeah, thank you for so much love and so much emotions. It is a big emotion for me to have you and to listen to you, not only to your music. And see you next year. No, hopefully before, but see you next year with more changes on the new album.
Yes, it will be so. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you for having me. Thank you, people, for coming to Andre's stream and to watching our interview. Thank you very much. Okay.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
See you.